All right, guys, we're back. We're here to do Married at First Sight, season 17. We made it to the end. Oh my goodness. This is amazing. Sometimes I didn't know. Really, child. Some days. But anyway, what do I have to say about the reunion? I agree. I was disappointed, in the women, but I also understood where a lot of their anger, was coming from, especially because there's this gap between decision day and then the reunion, and then they have another little gap between the reunion and where are they now. So there's stuff that people didn't know that they hadn't been able to talk about. So I do understand that. I do agree, though, that as they grow and they, really start to put stuff away inside of them, that it'll probably still affect them, but it's going to affect them less and less the more time and work that goes into what they experience. That was an experience, for them. And so I'm going to give them that level of grace. I would never think to do it. So the fact that they actually put themselves out there and then to have this as a result, that's a pretty big leap, to fall so flat, in your face. I appreciated that Chloe was talking to Michael and letting him know, some stuff. But my thing is, I don't understand why they didn't talk about this stuff. See, so in another way, to me, she and Michael kind of fell into the same trap that the rest of them did, because they were trying to capture all of their moments on camera when you can't capture all of the moments on camera. Some stuff you're going to talk about and the camera's not going to be rolling. Or you could have took the little handheld thing that they gave y'all, and y'all could have sat up and talked to Storm and let Married at First Sight, do whatever they were going to do, with it. So there were other things that they could have done and still been able to kind of communicate, with each other and still do, the process. So for her to now, you're sitting up telling Michael, what he did and how it affected you. And this is all too late. This is stuff that should have been going on, during the show. So I was disappointed in that. I was disappointed with Brennan, not wanting to he doesn't want Emily to be mad at him. He wants to be able to feel all of his feelings and based himself in his justifications, his thought process, if he actually goes back and look at his thought process, this is when the whole thing started to go off the rails. Because if you go back and you look, if you're interested, when they came off the honeymoon, he turned into a whole different individual. When she went to go and visit him at his house just before they were getting ready to move in, he was a completely different person. I mean, just morose and really just kind of, yeah, whatever, okay, blah, 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 see you in a couple of days. And the other thing that I heard him say on the reunion was he was deliberately trying that she wouldn't be attracted to him. And I've had people be attracted to me that I wasn't attracted to. And even though you treat them with respect, you still have to treat them in a way that lets them know that, yes, this is not that kind of relationship. I appreciate you feel that way, but if we're going to be friends, then yeah, no, I'm not interested. This is the kind of communication that he would have had to have with her. And if he had done that, then why would she want to stay in a marriage, like that? So this whole mess originated with him and his thought process. He even said that he was listening to her friends, which I've seen this before on Married at First Sight too. The people that they invite, be careful who you invite to your wedding, because they could really do some damage. He said that one of her friends was talking about her and her sleeping around. There was a friend that she didn't need to have at her wedding. Why would you say that? This is a happy day. This is something that she should, have this experience. Let her be the one to tell him, her history. We could see even before he said that there is some, there may be some truth, behind it. But the wedding is not the place for you to divulge that kind of information. So whoever did that was inappropriate as a supposed friend. And why would Brennan agreed to get married sight unseen to somebody who is going to have their faults, and problems and things, it's not going to be cookie cutter. And so it's just disappointing that these guys don't understand what marriage is. It's not boyfriend and girlfriend. And y'all just, divide bills up, with each other and have sex. This is not a roommate with benefits situation. It's not just a regular, like I said, relationship. This is marriage. It looks like something else. It moves like something else that you've never seen or experienced, before. And people are coming on here with mindsets that have kept them from being able to connect with somebody. You can't just think that you're going to have a relationship with somebody and you keep judging them all the time. You keep judging people for stuff that you don't even have evidence of. Why not give Emily an opportunity to show him, oh, wow, thank you. I needed help, with money, ideas. I really appreciate you, husband. As her husband, that's what he should have been willing to do, is to help influence, her. Help make her a better version, of herself. Instead of judging her for what, he thinks he got. And he also admitted that he felt like the experts had mismatched him. So that was part of the thing as to why he felt comfortable sitting there talking to Dr. Cal the way that he did, and why he was treating Dr. Pia, the way that he was treating her. I mean, just really being disrespectful. He even had to apologize, and then he admitted that he was trying to be controlling in that manner while he was sitting there trying to defend the fact that, no, I'm just doing this. But what you're doing is interfering in a conversation that really has absolutely nothing to do with you. But then you want to sit up and blame Emily and things that, she shouldn't be held responsible for in her past. So when you say I do and you give the vows, then you're supposed to be willing to reconcile people's past. Then don't come on the show if that's something that, is impossible, for you to do. Because that's one of those things, those pegs that come along with marriage. That animal that is completely different. So who else? Orion, oh my God. I am really glad, though, that he did admit that he messed up, too. I mean, so you really got that mad at her because she laughed at something that she really didn't even know what she was laughing at. That was the time when you were supposed to educate her and tell her, this is why this is not like a funny matter. And he just couldn't get past himself. And then wants to judge her, for her sexuality, for something, again, in her past. She's committed to you today. And you want to judge her because you want your standards to match her standards. Well, don't get married at first sight. Go down to the reservation and go date somebody, go court them, go save up for a wedding, go do all of that yourself, and don't come on the show. I promise you, one of the things that I break up with somebody over, friend or whoever, if I find out that you wasted my time, I can't stand that. And Lifetime is going to have to do something with that. That was just and we did this from what, October? This season dragged us all the way into the end of April. And this is what we all have been left with. It's just it looks nuclear to me. Even the people who I thought might have actually made it out of here with something, Michael and Chloe, a waste of time. Chloe sitting there mad at the women because she feels hurt that her time with them is different than the time that they had with each other. They had a completely different experience with each other, Chloe. Girl, you must understand that. You must understand that the dudes that they got matched up with really have some serious problems and caused a lot of the problems that they're now. This is the aftermath. You know, you have these are the consequences that have happened as a result of these initial decisions that these guys made. Well, they didn't have enough information to be making these kind of monumental decisions. So when Brennan made that decision to treat Emily like that when she came to visit him at his house, he was checked out from that point all the way up until today. And this is how sad women are, that you would sit up and reward that kind of behavior by being in a relationship with him after watching or having an opportunity to sit up and watch him treat this woman the way he did, crying the whole way. So I'm glad that Emily is getting therapy. She needs a child, and she really kind of expressed it. You know, this was kind of triggering, you know, for her. She's got some PTSD going on, and it kind of put her and her family, you know, in a strenuous situation, because I'm not sure if they had criticism about what they saw, you know, from her on television, and I'm sure it's been a whole dynamic. She said she even lost a friend. That girl Lily that we saw, she said they're not even friends anymore. So this is a life-changing, you know, experience. I mean, it makes me kind of wonder when I'm thinking about Emily is how bad was her life before she got on Married at First Sight? It's one of those questions, you know. Is this a road that you really needed to turn down, girl? And I encourage you all, you know, out there. The show is just not structured for people who are not serious, you know, about getting married and really, you know, doing the level of exploration that the experience is trying to call for. So who else am I thinking about? Cameron. Oh my goodness, this nut. There's something wrong with Cameron. I question a lot about him. And it really makes me question when he told Brennan that if Claire said that she was wanting to stay married, that he stay married to her. See, that was crazy to me at that time. I'm like, why would you do that? But because he was still playing in with the deception. He's still playing in on a game that Claire is not even checked into anymore. Claire is off on doing something else. And you still sitting there willing to play this game that y'all have concocted with each other and waste our time. That's why Brennan looked at him like he was crazy, because he was crazy. And then that mess that he was doing to Claire, he was jacking with her mind. In one of those clips when they were doing their segment, he was not interested in getting back together with her. I didn't believe her that she was actually dating somebody, because if I was actually dating somebody, that would probably been the first thing I said, instead of just getting sucked into his mess. If Cameron had come, you know, with no, girl, you already in a whole different relationship. It's over. He can't come to you with nothing. That was the answer. I mean, it's just crazy. But anyway, what else was he doing? The whole receipt thing, his EKG. Oh Lord. Oh, God, I had to hold my head. I was like, no, Cameron. That was your receipt. What else did he do? On this, where are they now? Oh, okay, I'll talk about it when I look at the video. But for the reunion, I can't remember. Oh, he got sick and then had to go. I guess he wanted to pull like an Austin. Austin got sick, and then he left and came back fully shaved. That was crazy. And then Cameron left, and then he came back. He ended up apologizing to Dr. Pepper for lying to her in her face. Dr. Pepper, you can tell she old. She's like, okay, I accept your apology. Instead of really just really holding them to account for the damage that they're doing to their own brand. This is something that Pepper has been doing for 17 seasons. You would think that she would be able to defend the show with more veracity than she had. I was disappointed with the experts, their part in it. Who else? Austin. Oh Lord, he's still lying. He wasn't attracted to Becca. I don't think that he understands what attraction is. Because if he understood what it is, he would know why people are saying the things about him that they are saying. I mean, there has to be something mentally or medically wrong with him if he is saying that what he presents has attraction for Becca. I do not believe it. He has more attraction for his producer that he wasn't supposed to be out with. He got that girl fired from her job, and he blew his marriage up. That's how attracted he was to that producer. And another reason why Becca was mad. I had said then that he should have at least invited her out. If he wanted to hang out with the producer, which they weren't supposed to be doing, according to the contract, then he should have at least called her and said, hey man, we're all down here, hanging out, this, that, and the third. And then I'm sure it would have been like just a cash secret that they would have taken, with them. But because Austin, then, even if he didn't do that, when he got home, it's like, man, we were out and we ran into the, X, Y, and Z. My friends wanted to hang out with her, and so I didn't even know she was going to be there. At least prepare the ground, Austin. My goodness. Didn't say nothing. And then when she asked him, then he sat there and told a lie. See, these are things that are called a tell. When you can't tell the truth, then your tell is the thing that actually comes leaping out of you, and you end up confessing anyway, even though you don't want it to do with your mouth, your mannerisms, the little eye tick, whatever it is that you have going on, it manifests itself. And then people can tell, that something is just not right with you. And whatever your mouth, is saying. So, who else do we want to talk about? Because Austin is he's just exhausting. And then I don't even understand why Chloe was insinuating that he and the roommate were like romantic with each other since he got married and went through all that. I didn't see it. So they're weird anyway. So if I'm missing it, then I'm going to give myself grace, because I could miss something like that if it was right in my face. But when Becca was on the after party, she was saying that she thought that the friend was a really good friend, to Austin. So I didn't get anything from her about him being romantic or anything, because if that was the case, I'm sure that would have came up during the reunion too, just like the producer thing did. So what else? Becca, she's doing better. I really liked her look. That was the other thing I wanted to talk about. Chloe and my disappointment. She's saying that the women don't want to heal because, coming off of the reunion, I'm assuming, and I want to say that they said that was the last time that they'd all gotten together. So that was the last time she'd actually interacted with the women. And so she was stuck from that point, when they have now moved into a new space. And even though there probably is some residual anger, especially from Emily, they are moving on with their lives. I mean, what is it? Claire got a whole new man. Lauren actually sounds better. She looks like, she's still dealing, with it in some form. who is it? Emily's in therapy, and she realizes that she's been talking about this too much, and she's getting on people's nerves, from her constant not wanting to let it go. So that's awareness. And like we just said, Becca, is actually better. She looks better, and I like the conversation that she had, with a friend on the Where Are They Now, episode. So is that it? We talked about Orion, Cameron. I think that's everybody. I guess, did I even finish with Chloe? Yeah. So maybe I'll just wait until the Where Are They Now, and then I'll talk about, her then. Because I want to go ahead and finish this video. I'm at 20 minutes, already. Okay. So, and while I'm looking for this, I want to thank everybody, for hanging in there with me this season. I feel comfortable that I'm going to do Chicago, but I'm still not going to make no promises. So, but I do invite you to join me for my review of The Handmaid's Tale. The season 1. Child, is something to see. And that's how important the message that I'm trying to get out. So I'm still trying to figure out how I want to do it. And then when I do, then I'll let you guys, know about it. So we're going to do Where Are They Now? Married at First Sight. So we're looking at Claire and Lauren. They're talking with each other. And that's when we find out about Claire's new boo. And then she's asking Lauren if she is dating. And Lauren is still no. Well, she didn't. I don't think she said no. But she's just minding her own business, is trying to figure out, her own life and sort through her own stuff. And I'm in that exact spot. So I really could identify, with them in this episode. So the next, not the episode, but this clip. So the next clip we see is of Michael going to get a stupid tattoo. I'm sure he thinks that it means something to him. It's just a waste of skin. I really feel like if you're going to get a tattoo, and I actually have one, it should really mean something. And, it's like one of those, when you look at it, you understand why they put, and I don't see that kind of tattoo on him. Why I understand him wanting to get it. So he understands it, but at any rate, he's talking with the person tattooing him on and on about what he supposedly learned from this experience. And that's about all I am interested in saying on that. If you really want to hear what he had to say, then you can go look at the video. So we have Chloe with her friend Cesar, and she's going on about her relationship or lack thereof with the women. And then Cesar is gossiping, talk about what he heard on the blogs. And, this is one of the times that I was just disappointed in Chloe. Yes, she's getting celebrated, which she should. I think out of the wives, she had the better experience. But it's not like Michael was that great. He dumped you too. He's just as stupid as the rest of the dudes, are. And that stupidity that the women endured was slapping them in their faces. And the fact that you're okay with Michael slapping you in your face doesn't mean that other women have to be at your same level. Especially a person like Emily, who's never been in a relationship and was hoping that the person would take marriage as a relationship seriously long enough for her to experience being in a relationship. And that didn't work for her either. So, I'm happy that Chloe is able to find her way into a healing space. I don't like it when people try to inflict that on other people, especially with me having had to learn how to mature on certain things, myself. So when I see these women in their pain, I understand it. I know what I know. I have been in some white hot pain. And look, child. Oh my goodness. I'm so thankful I'm not in jail. Praise the Lord. But yeah, I've been in some pain. So the fact that I can see that healing through it actually puts you in a better position than holding on to it and wallowing in it. It's a process to get out of it. And you really have to want to get out of it in order for that to be a thing. So I like that Emily is surrounded by the women who are going to give her that level of encouragement, not to just stay stuck in and wallow in, this experience with Brennan. And then maybe she will be able to pick up some skills that'll give her the kind of outcome, that she's looking for in relationships. So, yeah, I was a little disappointed with that one, too. Orion is talking. I can't remember what he's talking about. Emily and I think this is where they went to go get sushi. Yeah. And that was cool. This is Claire trying to be empathetic and encouraging to Emily at the same time. I like that. Then we got Chloe. She's and she just invited the guys to the place, which I thought was messed up. And I'm going to tell you one of the reasons why. I actually have been watching some of these other shows. What is it? The marriage, Love and Marriage series, Huntsville, Detroit, and DC. Child, oh my. I don't have this energy to talk about those shows, but I'm just saying that when they have events, even like when they go away, they invite the whole cast. They invite everybody. And you really have to be like in a jacked up place in order for you not to get an invitation. So for her not to invite the women, I thought was really wrong. I thought that was real mean. And it's supposed to be a bonding experience. You're going to help the animals, and bonding with the animals can maybe facilitate conversation and healing, Chloe. And then for her to exclude them, I just really didn't think that had much class connected, to it. But at any rate, she did invite them in, and because they're having such a love fest with her, they all showed up, and she was able to kind of highlight the animal sanctuary, for the audience again, which I thought was cool for the animal sanctuary, that they, got that kind of publicity, and maybe people would be interested in being able to help them help, more animals. Where are we now? Claire. Who's Claire talking to? Oh, I think this is when Claire and Michael and Lauren are sitting down talking together. I think this is the video. Which she said that Michael and Lauren were flirting together. And I didn't see it. But then I heard him on a podcast. Remember, I actually posted that one up, where they were asking him, I think they were asking him, out of all the women, who do you think that you would have been better paired up with? And he actually said Lauren. That was really surprising, to me. Like I said, I didn't see any romantic thing between them. Maybe Chloe has picked up on something that she hasn't communicated to me, and that I haven't seen communicated through the film. So there's a part in here where he's saying that the internet was the one that willed them to be able to sit down and talk about, this. And Lauren was like, well, nobody asked us, what we wanted. This is what they want. So I thought that was cool. Like I said, Claire, she was just watching it. And she said that they just were entertaining their flirtatious selves, together. And so that was a cool scene. So where else are we? We see Becca, and this is where she's looking really good, talking with her friend. And I really appreciated, that communication. It's nice when people have someone who can help keep them grounded. And so that person attested that she's been there to help her meander through this, this whole time. So that's really a good friend. I appreciate that. What scene is this? Oh, this is Orion taking the men for some cacao and yoga. So y'all can go and watch that. And then this is them at the animal sanctuary. They were also. I actually think that they were actually gossiping about the women more than the women were talking about the men in this episode, honestly. And I really do feel like Cameron is not, especially now that Claire has actually has an emotional connection that helps her to break the bond. He doesn't have that bond breaking measure. So he's still hooked up to this whole thing, I think. Brennan says he has a girlfriend while they're out here with the animals. And Cesar is talking to the guys. I forgot what question, he asked. So I encourage you guys to go down there and watch that. I don't remember if Orion said something, child. Something or other. So yeah, here we are with Lauren. She's telling us that because something happened with following on social media, she's following Michael's following her, and then Chloe got mad about it. And she said that she unfollowed him and had him unfollow her, and she's still mad about it. So I don't know what that's about. And I wish Chloe, again, would just talk about it instead of, being a victim in this. And I'm going to give Lauren, the benefit of the doubt on this. I think that there's some miscommunication coming from Chloe. And if she just kind of opens her mouth and her ears and give the woman the opportunity to communicate herself, I think that this could really not even be a situation, to tell you the truth. So it's just one of those things where this is how hurt manifests itself. So like for the women, their hurt we saw manifested on the reunion. Chloe's hurt is being manifested, I'm seeing in this episode. The way she's closing out the women, the way she's still judging the women for what happened on the reunion, the way she still thinks that they're still stuck in that same place and they're still that angry. She's the whole blog situation. What burner account? Why don't you go and ask whoever you think it is? Do you have a burner account? The internet is saying, this, that, and the third. It's making me feel X, Y, and Z. These are things that she can actually clear up if she wants, to have a relationship, with them, instead of just, being in her feelings, about it. And commiserating with idiots who started this whole mess in the first place, to include her stupid husband. It's just really, the cycle of nuttiness just really starts to weigh on my brain. So where are we? Emily's in therapy. That's cool. Michael and Chloe are congratulating themselves about the progress that they've been able to make and how great they are at fostering friendships out of bullshit. So then they finally get around to talking about having an event for everybody. This should have been what she did when they went to the animal, sanctuary. So that's when she was like, these women don't want to heal. She hopes that they do, and blah, blah, blah. So, is this where are they? I'm like, oh, okay, this is the tattoo clip. I actually thought that Lauren's perspective was really right, because it's one thing to get it, when you're in this emotional state. But then what happens when you're not in that same emotional state, and then you look at it? What kind of feelings is it going to evoke? Is it going to evoke something positive, or is this something that's going to keep you locked in married at first sight, forever? So I thought that was good, that she's weighing that out. And Becca said that she didn't want to risk infection because she's going to go to Australia. She got a trip coming up. And so, who was it? Emily and Claire. They got this little rendition of a wave. So, I don't know. I hope that is something that they can use for affirmation. I think that's important, too. That's why I ended up with the tattoo, because I got it for affirmation. So, Austin and his roommate come to the little thing that Chloe and Michael were trying to get everybody to come to. And I didn't like the roommate talking about the women. Austin gave Becca more abundant opportunity to feel a certain kind of way about him. And like I said, if that's how she manifested her hurt, then that's it. And he has to sift through that. It's not fair to put all of it, on her and just tell her to get over herself when she has been injured by Austin in a very public and humiliating way. This woman had been begging him to give her some affection, you're important to me. And the day that he says, I do, again, to being married to her, he goes and makes himself available for a person that he's not even supposed to be associated with. It's called fraternization. They are not supposed to be together in any capacity other than filming. And he was willing to do that, get her fired, make Becca mad, and break up his marriage. That is how attractive he was. That's humiliating for this woman that she sat in here all these weeks waiting on him to give her a crumb. And then he gonna sit there and lie about it to her in her face. Don't sit up and expect me to judge these women because I'm not gonna do it. I know what pain and hurt feels like. And like I keep saying, I'm glad to see her working her way through it. Because people will cripple you for life mentally. And they don't understand the damage that they do. And trying to get out and unwind yourself from that mess is admirable. And I appreciate Becca's, effort. So, looked at the roommate. She really just needs to sit there and mind her own business at that one. Just support and talk less. So the women are donating their dresses, which I thought was cool. I actually took care of a patient in oncology, and she was terminal. And she had that one of those people that wanted to get married, dying wish. And people got her a wedding dress and got her in it, and they had a little ceremony in the patient's room. It happens. So I was really heartened by the charity that they're donating, the dresses to. It's so nice when we can recycle things instead of having to buy stuff, all over again as if it's new. Some stuff new is cool, but I think that we put too much stock in new stuff, and we really need to go back to recycling, as much as we can. If I can't use it, then somebody else, should be able to use it. So then we have final thoughts. And then they show us a little bit of Chicago. So I hope that this was a good, comprehensive review of Married at First Sight. Where are they now? Who won? There were no winners. Normally, I actually would have given Chloe the award for winning this season. I was ready to crown her. And now I can't do that. I can't. But I just saw from her, because I've had people try to tell me how to feel about something my entire life. And nobody can tell you how to feel about something. You can encourage people to look at it a different way. What you can't do is tell somebody how they should feel about something, because they already feel it. So that's not going to change just because you told them. It's just going to make them madder. My mother used to do me like that. Oh, Sean, you shouldn't feel that way. Well, I do. So now I'm stuck in this place that I don't even want to be in. And now I have to take your judgment because I'm here. I don't even want to be here. Nobody wants to live in anger. There's nothing idyllic about living in anger. If people could get out of living in anger, most people, I'm sure that they would. But it's just a festering wound. And it compounds upon itself. So I like when I see this kind of work like Becca, is doing, where she's not trying to stay hooked up into that kind of energy. She is getting all the stuff that she can get out of it, as a learning lesson, and then letting the rest of it, go, which I think is one of the more healthy ways of being able to work our way through problems. If you're not interested in hanging in there with me for another few minutes, this is my review of Married at First Sight, Season 17. It's a wrap. And I'm now going to switch over because I just want to make sure that I take this opportunity to do my part. I'm just a human being with 10 fingers and 10 toes. And so I just wanted to take an opportunity to use my voice and my physical body to let us know that we can't be affiliated with genocide. It's one of the most important decisions. There's no decision that's more, because if we don't stop it, it's like a fungus. You've heard of the plagues, like the Black Plague and the bubonic plague. It is its own level of plague. That's why it's so important. And it's invisible. So a lot of people, why do they keep talking about Gaza? Why do they ain't talking about the Sudan? Why they ain't talking about China? Why they ain't talking about North Korea? Because this is something it's a whole nother animal. Remember we was having that conversation? It moves differently. You can't compare. These people are trapped. They are trapped in this place. They can't even go into the ocean. So they are just like fish that's sitting in a barrel, and they're just going to shoot them. And I'm not going to watch that and not say anything about it. So I appreciate everybody who tolerates my extra news clippings and things like that, because it's just important to me as a human. I'm going to do what I can with my 10 fingers and my 10 toes and this brain that he gave me. And that's one of my contributions, that I like to be able to do, not just the posting, but also being able to verbalize what I'm putting as post. So when I put up The Handmaid's Tale, these are the kind of things that I'm going to be, discussing. So I really invite you to come and listen, to that. And the way that YouTube is showing me the monetary structure, I might have to create another channel, for it. So this will be another test for me to see if I can figure out how to become an entrepreneur, on YouTube. So I actually would appreciate, you guys' support on that. The people that you see me sending these this stuff to, these are people that I actually watch fairly regularly, and I'm trying to stimulate conversation in the community. I like that if you are interested in their information, that you subscribe and share with other people, so that we all can have the same information, and then have the opportunity to figure out how we're going to take this information and make the collective, better. So when you look at the body, you got the feet, you got the hands, you got the mouth, you got the ear, the eye. They all need the same things, same nutrients, from the body, more or less. But they all perform different functions. But every function, in order for this body to be successful, has to do its thing. And then it has to be independent, but it also has to work together. So the foot can't direct the hand. The eye can't tell the ear what to do. The ear is specialized. The nose has its job. The liver has its function. The heart does its thing. The lungs performs its function to keep the organism itself together. So this is the kind of way that I see us, as a community. And I'd like for us to be able to let go of this false information that we've been fed. Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, all this craziness. Christmas, Lent, all this stuff that we've been fed that's not true. And we hold on to it, and we ritualize it every year. Oh, happy Thanksgiving. Oh, Merry Christmas. Oh, happy what? 4th of July. Colonialism. I do not celebrate the 4th of July. I don't celebrate none of this stuff no more. I just don't. It's just colonialism. That's what we're celebrating. That brainwashed us. We have been brainwashed. And black men, I have a love-hate relationship with black men now, because I know too much. You want to be congratulated while our community is in shambles. You really want me to look at you in your $5,000 suit and give you accolades and awards when our children are struggling. The water is messed up. The land is messed up. The education is not there. The jobs are not there. It's crazy. We can't live on the information that we were raised on. Breaks my heart. I mean, who I am is part of what my grandmothers, had taught me. And now I have to go back and relearn. I'm relearning this whole thing. I don't even know how to move out there, because the moves that I was making was built on something that I got out of capitalism. So now what is it that I can use? What stuff have I learned from capitalism that I can use and then still walk out there and be my authentic, self? Very challenging for me. So I don't know if that's something, that other people are out there, dealing with. The other thing, I think I wanted to touch on It's the college protest. Thank you. So, and then I'll get off. It's really, I'm split because I see how fascists use arguments against people for their own benefit. And I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. So, like when Martin Luther King and them were doing the marching, and they was walking across the bridges, they were doing sit-ins, that was civil disobedience, and they were put in jail, and stuff like that. And people were against them because they were causing a disturbance. Life wasn't comfortable in Mayberry anymore. They couldn't just get up, go to the coffee shop, and have their day. They had problems now that were in their face. And this is how they chose to deal with it. They had dogs. People had dogs sicked on them. They had water hoses, put on them to get them out of the way. They beat these people. This is just another variation of what was happening then. So if we looked at it then, and I wasn't here yet, when I wasn't born until 1970. But if that was visualized then, the whole Vietnam protest then, we got a chance to look at that. And then now we're looking at it again. I don't understand why it's so hard for us to stop repeating history, especially when it's been so close to us. This is not history from 100 years ago. This is within people's lifetimes. People haven't even died yet, and they've already seen this kind of uprising over the same kind of thing. Vietnam War, the Iraq War. And then now we're looking at it again because they want to take us into another war. And then you have people who are really angry. The people are protesting because what other way, what other means? This is where escalation comes in, because people are asking, well, what is it that has to happen in order for you to understand that we don't want to go to war? What has to occur? And then this is when people start to hijack buildings. And look, this is the hypocrisy, and I'm really thankful. And like I said, I'm getting off of here after this. So people who are calling for the students to be jailed, saying they're trespassing, saying that, they don't have this private property, okay? It's private property. So those people who occupy government buildings, so that's supposed to be a public building, but like the January 6th people, official government business was happening when they went in there and stormed that building. That's exactly what Trump wanted them to do. He wanted them to stop the proceedings. And he used them being able to have civil rights and civil disturbance in order to be able to accomplish that. So the people who are now being put in jail for January 6th stuff, he wants to free them for being, for their vandalism. But then the college students, they have to, they have to be held to the letter of the law for their vandalism. This is the kind of hypocrisy. It's another reason why I don't play the Democrat and the Republican nonsense anymore. I don't play the religious nonsense anymore, because nobody is living to the standards that they're holding other people to. So the people who don't want to hear that there's something wrong with January 6th, who criticizing the students today, y'all are hypocrites. Y'all are just bona fide hypocrites. The same people who want to say that people should be held responsible for vandalizing, on January 6th. Honestly, if they vandalize property, then they're going to have to pay the whatever the law is for vandalizing, property. If they're trespassing on property, these are how these laws have been fixed up. So you can't say that it's okay for one to break the law, and then it's not okay for others. If you're either going to have justice or you're not, and it's fixed so that the people are the ones who get justice, and I'm putting it in quotes, applied to them, but the actual crooks and the people, who want to be able to do that same behavior, they're the heroes, they're the martyrs, they're the ones, who needs to be let out of prison. I'm not doing it. I don't care what kind of Christian you call yourself. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what race you are. I just can't take it seriously. I never take it seriously. American Christians, if y'all are listening to me from overseas, look, you take American Christians with a gigantic grain of salt, okay? Be courteous to them. Be nice to them. Don't mistreat them. Don't hold your future on them either, okay? They come over there as a tourist. Treat them like a tourist and just send them on their way. Please, do not engage in religious discussion with these people. Once you find out, just treat them like you would a non-believer. Just be courteous. Hey, how'd you like your stay? Is there anything else we can get you? Oh, we appreciate you, appreciate our culture. Everything else that you would do to a tourist, just know what they are. I just need you to know what they are. And get that Christian mess out of your homes. I'm talking to you people in South Africa and in other places, in Africa that are watching me. Y'all need to watch what's happening over here and reverse course. This is coming to Africa too. You guys are not going to get away from it. Go and look up this country called Eritrea. Go look at that country. And Christians did that to themselves. That's one of the reasons why I always try to highlight, them when I'm talking about stuff like this. And I'll be talking more about it when I'm doing The Handmaid's Tale. So thank you for hanging in there with me. If I have more to say, about it, I'll probably just keep doing it, on the posts. And you guys have a great day. Thank you again for your support, and take care.